I think me and Adam coming into this conversation were curious about, since we felt that you were being dishonest or not accurate with Blair in the video, about whether it was intentional or you just have a very different perspective.
Yeah, I don't feel you were being dishonest, Joel. I honestly don't.
Right.
I feel like you just.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I try to speak carefully. You know, I understand. I'll say this. You know, I understand that I use loaded language in my videos. But there is a sort of precision, right, in what I'm saying, particularly about Blair White, when I say that she doesn't. This was something you brought up right at the beginning of the conversation that we never talked about. When I say that Blair White doesn't think of trans people as diseased, she thinks the community is diseased. You know, and I think that's a strictly true thing to say. Blair White focuses to a large extent on while she is supportive of the concept of people transitioning, particularly people transitioning under certain conditions, particularly the conditions that she transitioned under.
Right. Medical supervision, really thought about it, not doing it on a whim, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. I think it goes beyond that. You know, I don't think she has beliefs about trans people that I don't think are pertinent to this conversation.
I probably don't even know him because I'm not really, you know, I don't watch.
Well, I don't know. Like, she thinks like her boyfriend is kind of gay, and it's like, and she's really into this like sort of narrative concerning trans women that they're like not truly women, and she seems really invested in that in a way that I find pretty disconcerting, you could say. But leaving any disagreements I have with her aside, her channel does focus on the pathology of the trans community. It is concerned with a community that she seems to take to be pretty hugely problematic, and I don't think there's any disagreeing with that.
Well, I want to say, in related to the disease line, I don't think you were, and I assume this was unintentional, I don't think you were as precise with your language as you meant to be, because, I mean, we could play the clip right now, and you could see where our confusion would come from and how you worded it.
That emphasis is always placed exclusively on the pathology of the trans community. It all comes together to say...
Okay, so you say trans community first.
Without ever really
right.
saying it, that while trans people are not the disease, a group of people who we must eradicate in some way, they are, as a group, diseased. So,
because then you kind of switch to like trans people are not diseased, but they are as a group of disease.
Yeah, what does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Can you just elaborate on what that meant?
I don't know what that means.
Well, do trans people have a unified ideology? I don't feel like they do. I feel like they're just a bunch of different people.
Precisely my point. I don't think they do, and yet Blair spends her entire channel focusing on a pathological conception of what the trans community is, right? This is just a fact. This is just an objective kind of true thing.
It's objective fact that Blair characterizes all trans people as having a shared ideology?
No, I never said she did that.
What? Okay, I guess I misunderstood. What did you say? Repeat yourself, please.
I'm saying that she takes the trans community to be deeply and irredeemably diseased.
Okay, wait, hold on. What is trans community? What does disease mean, and what does trans community mean?
What I mean to say is that almost all of her videos focus on displaying what she sees as the laughable, ridiculous, upsetting, predatory nature of various trans people. This is the focus of her work.
Sure, various trans people and various trans individuals. Sure.
In toto, it sort of produces an impression of the world through the lens of Blair White. The trans community is deeply problemed.
Well,
this is what I'm
But doesn't her being a trans woman who's saying, I don't agree with this specific behavior that's related to the trans community, obviously to me that would show, and as you said in your video, Blair is implicitly saying that it's okay to be trans by being a trans woman. So that's why I'm confused by this.
Well, and Joel, how are you supposed to defend if you're in a community and you're surrounded by people who are making you look bad? How are you supposed to defend yourself if you're setting up this unrealistic expectation not to point out others that are getting out of line?
I'm just trying to say, like, general statement here.
Okay.
Her entire focus as a creator is about the trans community having problems that make her feel like they make her look bad. Her entire focus as an artist on the internet is the production of sort of what we could call as signaling a sort of disdain for trans behaviors. And in toto, she's not sort of saying, being. I don't understand what the disagreement is. I think you agree with me. Is my problem here.
Well, the only place where I think there might be some disagreement is if Blair gets in some beef, and I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Blair's content, so if Blair calls out bad behavior in her community in a way that she's kind of policing her own, I don't know how anyone in any community can do that because it seems like they could easily be categorized as, trying to make their entire community look bad, like you're saying.
Yeah, so the way I see it, this isn't about, I want to sort of detach this discourse here. Like, I'm not saying that Blair is a, quote, bad trans or a self-hating trans woman. You said that in a DM to me, that you took that as to be something I was implying or saying. Couldn't be farther from the truth. Not my opinion. But if say that I, went on my platform and every week talked about a different sort of crisis as I took it within the Jewish community. The Jews are doing this today. The Jews are doing that today. This stuff is getting worse and worse.
You make a valid point. If it's like 24/7, if it's all your focus.
Well, let me work off that hypothetical. Okay, as a fellow member of the tribe myself, if you had a channel where say you're, I don't know, Hasidic Jew or Orthodox Jew, you got the yarmulke, you're wearing your tallit or whatever for all your videos, sure. So it's very visible that you're Jewish, and your entire channel is you criticizing what you think are extreme aspects of problems in the Jewish community. You're criticizing ultra-Orthodox Jews, you're criticizing Hasidic Jews, you're criticizing behaviors in Israel, whatever. I would say that's fine and not anti-Jewish, as long as in those videos you're not characterizing it like this is every Jewish person. If you're just saying, I don't like these Jews, as a Jew, I'm criticizing these Jews' behaviors, that's not anti-Jewish at all.
I guess regardless of the way you'd characterize it, anti-trans, anti-Semitic, regardless, what it comes down to is that my channel would then be a kind of, the Jewish community is deeply and terribly problemed. And, we need to fix it. These people are fucking crazy. They represent, and you can't deny also that there's a sort of way of ushering people into attention on problems that might not be like the fundamental, some random person on Tumblr who Blair White thinks is cringe, for example. She's actively drawing attention and making this person appear as a very real and material threat to transness everywhere, right? She's producing something. She's saying something about what it is to be trans and what the trans community is. I think that's right.
Well, see, I would say the opposite. I would say she's contrasting herself, saying, look, I'm trans and I'm, quote, normal, I guess as she would characterize it. And here's all the crazy trans people. I'm calling them out to show you that you can support trans people, or you can be trans without being these things I'm criticizing.
Yeah. I think that's the general, that's the precise, exact, true thing. That's it. You nailed it.
Okay, well, but that's not what, that seems to be the opposite of what you just said.
It's not. It's the same thing. Yeah, that's what she does.
No, because
she spends her entire life sort of referring to a trans community, sort of playing up the sort of problematic aspects that she sees in it, in order to, I guess, draw a distinction between herself, the normal trans, and the sort of freaks and degenerates that pervade the movement. That's what I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, so I get maybe I misunderstood, because I thought what you were saying was that you think your problem with Blair and where the disease line came from was that you thought Blair was painting with a broad brush that the entire trans community is the crazies.
I do say what I mean, that the problem that she presents the trans community as a deeply problemed space. Yeah, don't mean something different from that. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah. So, sorry, I'm sort of losing the thread a little.
That's
bit.
okay. We've been going for close to an hour here, so you've been very generous with your
You can
time.
stop whenever you